Well, hey there, it's Sue Louise here, and I am joined today by Gretchen Maurer. Gretchen is an amazing hairstylist and educator. She has been a platform hairstylist, so she's been an educator, she's worked on the stage demonstrating hairstyles, and been a hairstylist for 40 years now. Which is pretty incredible. I know, right? And yeah, so Gretchen has written a book. She's an author, which was all about how brides need to be on their wedding morning. So all about the morning of the wedding, giving advice there. She's also worked as a clarity coach for, what is it, about 10 years now, 15 years, Gretchen? So she's got this amazing wealth of knowledge in her head. Over the last couple of years, she has developed what she calls her Updo system, which really helps hairstylists to formulate how they're going to do their updos or upstyles. So I wanted to have a chat with Gretchen today to talk about her system, her background, and just to get a bit of an idea, because of course, I know that most of my audience are makeup artists, so we're not coming with that that really technical hair background that hairstylists or cosmetologists are coming into doing updos with. So Gretchen, thanks so much for joining us today. And I would love it if you would just take a couple of moments to tell us a little bit about your amazing 40 years in the industry, how you got started and how you got to where you are today.
Well, thanks a lot for having me, Sue. This is very exciting. I love to talk to makeup artists too, because we do work in tandem. And I started in college because that's what my parents wanted. But it was very quickly that I chose to pop out, marry my high school sweetheart at 19 years old. And then my mother's like, well, you always loved hairdressing, might as well just go to hairdressing school. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And I enjoyed it. And I think because I was married, I was very driven. Get in, get out, get my license, get working. I already had a job waiting at the salon where I went as a child. And my mom went. I already had a mentor waiting for me. So that was good. And, for 4 years, I worked just blowouts and getting my hands in hair. And I think the 80s was really good. We did a lot of blow drying. So we really learned how to manipulate the hair. So I have a really good foundation, and then teachers that were older, so I have a good foundation in teasing and balance and all that kind of thing. Couple kids, owned a salon for 5 years, did platform work for probably almost 10, wrote a book for my lady, Business of Bridal Beauty in the late 90s, because I really saw a lack of people understanding the money that could be made in the bridal. Like, old brides are paying, they take up the whole Saturday, but nobody was trained. And so I'm really big on systems. My husband was a quality control manager, and I was devouring his quality control books back in the 90s. And so I made a system for salons. Girl says I'm a bride, notebook under the desk, specific questions, brochure, a department, a little corner decorated. So that was like the book. And then we left the industry for almost 15 years. My husband went back to school and became a counselor, so I kind of left and went with him and did addictions recovery counseling for 10 years, helping the female therapists run group work and taking girls shopping, teaching them about their body types, teaching them how to be a woman when they've had abuse. They tend to stay like teenager kind of like. And so anyways, that was really a way to get into people's heads, to learn how to motivate people, learn how to show people that they have something within themselves. And so that's been really great to just learn all that coaching language. And and then when I came back from that, I was like, I'm getting back online. I had a website in the 90s, weddinghair.com, that won an award by Brides Magazine, which is our biggest wedding magazine here in the States. And so I'm like, all right, I was online before, but I had no idea what I was doing. I really still have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm actually going to a seminar tomorrow in Brooklyn to learn a little bit more. But yeah, so Updo system. So basically taking everything that was in my book and the systems that I taught hands-on and everything I learned in the mental health field and put it all into a course. And with video, it's great. You know, I could talk this stuff to students back in the day and it just went right over their head. You know, they just show me the hair. Just show me the hair. I can show you hair till a day. Like, no, it's about relationship. It is about connecting. And with the makeup artists, they're right there in their face, right? You know, the hairdressers were yelling over the blow dryer, but so the makeup artist, my makeup artist that worked with me was a doll. She was my yin to my yang. Like when someone was upset, I'm like, go get your makeup done. Susan's so sweet. But so yeah, I'm glad to be here for the makeup artist.
Yeah, awesome. And I think you touched on something really important there that, well, a couple of things. Obviously, the fact that it is about the mindset, you know, and it's about what goes on between our strands of hair inside our heads that's so important. But the other thing that I wanted to, to touch on that you just mentioned there is show us the hair, show us the hair. And that's the thing, as hairstylists and makeup artists, we are usually visual or kinesthetic learners. We learn by seeing or we learn by doing. So, and so much of the world is moving from the classroom to the online classroom now. And I think, you know, it's such a great opportunity. Now, of course, it's not as simple learning makeup or hairstyling when you're just watching someone else. You know, it's great to have them with you, looking over your shoulders and saying, no, put this piece of hair there, or blend this bit of eyeshadow a little bit better there. But I think, you know, in the first instance, having that visual learning through a platform like video, so like online courses or even YouTube, I think it's such an amazing opportunity for learners and for educators now.
Definitely. And I think with Zoom like this, I worked with girls who had a tripod and their mannequin had them. I could see their body position. I could see what they were doing or not doing. And there's so many people right now making millions of dollars doing makeup on YouTube. It's hard to see the subtleties because the makeup always looks good online.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the deceiving thing for clients, I think, is like, it looks so good online. Why does it look like this when I look in the mirror? Because the lighting and everything, it's quite deceiving. But
exactly. And you know, even Zoom has a little filter to touch up your appearance. Do you use that? I use it all the time. I don't normally look like this. I look worse. Just kidding. So tell me, what are some of the most memorable jobs that you've had? When you look back over that long career, what are some of the highlights for you?
Well, I would say that absolute craziest wedding. I have a few. And I actually got a phone call from one of those TV shows, wanted to know if I had any weddings coming up that were kooky enough to, you know, put on film. And I had just stopped doing weddings. I was up in New Hampshire weeding flower beds, and on my phone rings. I'm like, people, you call me now. But anyways, so one of the brides, the Brooklyn Cyclone roller coaster is like an iconic roller coaster. It's still original. It's still wood. It's still old. So anyway, she got married on the platform. She had a vintage hairstyle. She wanted to do 2 rounds around the roller coaster, and then I had to fix her up again. And then she had her reception in the aquarium on the boardwalk. And so the seals are barking, and, you know, and it was so hot, and there was no air conditioning inside the aquarium where we were. So there's lots of tidbits in my book about how to prepare yourself for all these different locations, because you've got to ask a lot of questions. You don't know what you're gonna get to. So, and then another bride, I'll go quickly. I call her my feather bride. She had like super high stack platform white spiky shoes, and she wanted all these feathers in her hair. And so when we got to the wedding, one of my girls, because all her girls were buxom, you know. So one of my stylists was in the back with duct taping everyone's boobs up because the dresses were pretty scanty. And she was a big boob girl, so she knew what she was doing. I'm like, I'll stay out here. Well, the bride's walking around. She literally had one of these on, not tied, nothing on underneath but her panties. And young boys are walking around serving hors d'oeuvres, and one of her friends says, hey, he's cute. You got 15 minutes. Go for it. before you're a married woman. I'm like, okay, just keep doing hair, just keep
Oh
doing
God.
hair. So yeah, then, you know, after all those years, and then I was doing weddings during 9/11, and that was pretty hard.
Yeah.
I actually had a trial in the city on 9/9, and I'd taken home a brochure. And then 9/11, I had a trial at my house. And I remember unpacking my bag from the wedding to work on the trial, and there was this brochure with the Twin Towers on it. And I had just
Mm,
watched the second one go down live on TV. It
yeah.
was weird. And the very next weekend was a wedding show, and there was like no vendors there. Nobody can get to the city. There was no flowers. There was no this. And I had a bride, I think that Sunday. And everyone just was watching TV, and she's crying. It's my wedding day. So that's not a good memory, but it's a strong
Gosh,
one.
I've got goosebumps.
I know, I know.
I think everybody remembers where they were when, you know, when they heard that moment, when, you know, when
Yeah.
they first heard that. And I mean, of course, we woke up to it here in Australia, you know. Yeah, gosh, I will never forget that morning. But yeah,
Hmm.
wow, that must have been, and I'd never really considered how amazing, you know, in a not so great way that must have been. I
Yeah.
was doing weddings when we had a really devastating cyclone, when when I started out up in far north Queensland, and we had no power at our house for
Mm.
36 hours. And I was like, what am I going to do if I get to this wedding and there's no power? But fortunately, it was just outside of the area where they actually shut down the power in case
Wow.
power lines come down
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's not that the storm causes the power to go out, but yeah, that was eerie as well.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so now, as I mentioned before, most of my listeners and viewers are makeup artists, not hairdressers or cosmetologists. But we know that the ability to style hair is really important for makeup artists as well. You know, being able to multi-skill there. So in a lot of markets, it is expected that people do both. And even if you're not expected to, it is a great way to maximize your bookings and, of course, earn more money. So a lot of makeup artists are scared of hairstyling when they first start out. What do you say to those artists that are, you know, just kind of think, oh my gosh, hair?
Oh, I would think the most important thing is to face your fears and to make a decision. If you make a decision, I'm going to learn how to do hair, and you make that as a decision instead of wishing I could, or I'll try it, and then you have a bad moment and you're like, that's it, I'm never doing it again. So
Mm,
make a decision and make a plan. I'm a clarity coach. And pick out some of the basic styles. Like, I would say market yourself as a makeup artist. And by the way, I have a light repertoire of some hairstyles. If you,
mm,
you know, and you can just put it out there, because I would want to do hair. And by the way, I can do makeup if it's only one or two people. Not that I enjoyed it at all.
yeah,
But it's having a purpose. So getting a mannequin head, getting some of your friends' teenage kids, picking out a few styles, watching videos, and putting aside time in your calendar to try them out.
mm,
They're not hard, and if you can stop the YouTube videos and catch up and keep doing, and you've got to work until this and these connect. And that there's a long distance between here and here.
yeah,
So you've got to give yourself time to kinesthetically get it, and practice and practice. Like, have a mannequin head set up in the living room in front of the TV, and just do it whenever you're going to watch a movie or listen to a podcast. Just do it and pick out some of the basic styles to try.
yeah, yeah. Look, that's great advice, Gretchen. I don't know that I was ever actually given that advice when I started out, because I'm a makeup artist. I'm not a hairdresser or a cosmetologist. I started styling hair about 2 years, 1 or 2 years into my makeup journey, because I kept seeing, you know, I was doing a lot of destination weddings, so they were small weddings, and I was often the one that was finding the hairdresser to come along and do the hair. And I would sit there waiting and take them back with me and just think, you know what, I could probably do this. And sometimes I would think, I could maybe do this better than they're doing it. So that is what inspired me to learn hair, as well as obviously I wanted to add that extra feather to my bow and earn more money rather than giving it away to someone else. And that is exactly what I did. I did a basic little hairstyling course. I got a mannequin, had it clamped to my dining room table, And every morning I would get up, and hot rollers were a big thing back then in the early 2000s. And I would set her hair in hot rollers, and I would do it different ways. And then I'd take them out and look at how it curled. And I'd look at pictures. We kind of had Google then. We didn't have Pinterest or anything like, no YouTube and no Instagram, but I would find images of hairstyles and try and kind of pick them apart and figure out how to do them. So yeah, and I really like that, what you said then about getting from here to here. And I guess it's that muscle memory, isn't it? Like,
yes.
Yeah. That's a really cool way to look at it. I've never really looked at it that way before. Yeah. So speaking about upstyles or updos, do you think that that's a different skill set from simple styles like curls and straightening and blowouts?
Well, I think if you can manipulate a curling iron and get curls in, then that's why I have this system that I have, because when you can work the sections and you can connect the sections with the consultation, it's not that hard to throw up a couple of anchor ponytails or something that you can drape stuff into or braid with. Some of the easier styles are not that hard. So it's just a matter of practicing, understanding the consultation as far as the hair, because sometimes even though a bride wants to look, I don't know, you must hear it with the makeup, I want to look like myself, just better, or like, what are some of the things what are some of the things that clients say as far as asking for their makeup?
Yeah, I want to look really natural, or I don't want to look like a clown or a drag queen, or, make me look younger. They're the big ones.
That's a good one. Yeah. And I know my 33-year-old daughter, she loves to have any makeup artist work on her because she grew up in the salon. So she likes to see their art on her face.
Yeah.
So she just lets them go and let them do their thing. But I would say that, what was the question? I had a brain fog.
No, that's okay. You've gone on a good tangent, though. We were talking about whether it's a different skill set.
All right, so taking it from curls to up. All right, the consultation. So even though someone might show you, and all the pictures today are from the back of the head, which is ridiculous because the bride doesn't know what the front looks like. And unless we tell her, and she's like, well, I love this dip here. And then I show her that she looks like Grandma Moses with these dips on the side of her face. It was like, oh, I don't like that. I want it tighter. Yeah. Okay, well, then now the back's got to be different. So you got to start with the front. Yes. And you've got to find out, like, how are they used to this? How do they do their own hair at date night? I would say it's a great question for the makeup artist. Tell me how you would do your own hair for date night. Right then and there, you're going to know whether she has a routine, whether she knows how to manipulate her hair, whether she uses products, or whether she's like, date night, I don't know, I really don't go out. So then you know where you're starting from, ground zero. Yeah. And so the person with their own hands, they'll say, oh, well, I love my hair like this, and I love it when I can do that, and I love this. And so she knows. And so sometimes I would say, all right, I'm going to pull your hair back. Why don't you pull out your own fringe? Some people like fringe from here, some are like here, some like a whole strip because they don't like their jowls or their ears, but they're not going to tell you that. I don't like my jowls and I don't like my ears. No, they're just going to say, I like my hair like this. And you've got to find out why. Yeah. And so that is section 1 is the front. I mean, I'll just break that down right now.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Yeah. I was going to ask about the different sections because I know you have like 5 numbered sections. So great. Yeah. Please show us that. Yeah.
So section 1 is the front. And it's not deep, okay? It's not deep.
It's not right back to the crown. No, it's about halfway to the crown.
Yeah, it's just the very, very front. And so someone like me who has like a really high hairline, section 1, there's not much there. And then someone who has lower hairline, they're going to have a deeper, maybe a deeper. So if their hairline is low and they want that side bang, that kind of thing going like this, and then she's deep in here, she's deep, and so she's going to have room for crown height. Yeah. But if someone has a high hairline and they want that low, you're going to maybe lose the height. So then you got to find out, well, what's more important for you, the dip in the front or the height? And then she doesn't know, she has to make a decision. But
Yeah.
that's what the sectioning system does. It makes you pay attention to each section. So section 1 is the front and how she likes it. 2 and 3 are the sides. So basically what's right in front of the ears. So 2 and 3 are the sides.
Mm-hmm.
4 is the crown, and then 5 is the back.
Right.
And when you think like, well, I like a bit of a poof, all you have to do is throw a ponytail in here.
Yeah.
Just throw a ponytail in section 4, do some pinching, drape back section 2 and 3,
Mm-hmm.
and make section 1 the way she likes it.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. So whether the updo goes up or low or half up or half down, it's the same sectioning.
Mm.
And it's connected to the conversation. And so you're listening and building the hairstyle in your head as you go.
Yeah.
You're not being held a photo. How do I do this? No, you're thinking sections, you're communicating sections.
Yeah.
And so then you can build with sections. So it's really, once it clicks in your head, it's a very aha moment.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, you know, so often we are handed an image and this is what I want my hair to look like. And you're right, like that's the first thing is, okay, well, this is the back. Yeah, I can do that. What are we doing with the front? Where do you want it parted? How do you want this front part to sit? So I think looking at it in terms of those sections, you can really break the style down a lot simpler. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've talked about the sectioning and how to actually go about getting those styles in the consultation. So tell me now a little bit about this Updo system program that you've created.
Okay. Well, I'll give you my 4 secrets and I'll just read them because that'll be easier and then I can talk about them.
Sure, so, lovely. Yeah, yeah.
You learn a secret to thinking through the updo, and you deliver on a style that she will love. So as you think through the system and you talk about the sections, you're thinking steps like a chess game. You're not looking at a flat image. And so I have an image right here. Let me show you. So a lovely image.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So section 1, right where it's flat, that's section 1 right there.
Yep.
And that dips and goes into here. So you just section that away. Section 4 has, you want to look at the overall shape. Yeah. So sometimes the shapes are lower. Yeah. Then sometimes she has maybe a shawl or a bow, or one of my brides had a necklace that dripped down the back of her neck. So we had to move her style up. Yes. So you want to look at shape, and then you have them looking straight in the mirror. So, okay, now this updo is going to have height because right here, this is above the line. So you're going to have height. Yeah. Sometimes the heads are tilted in the photo and they're like, oh, so when I say this is going to have height, and usually if it's a teenager back in the 90s, you'd be like, oh no, I don't want too much on top of my head. Now the kids like it on top of their head again. And then you have this length here on 5, this section, this length. So you want to look at 5, look at 2 and 3, and look at the crown in 4. So you're building up your 5 sections, and then now you're looking at texture. What's all this texture doing? And is she happy with the texture? Sometimes they like the shape and they're not paying attention to the curls. Oh, yeah, that does look kind of messy. I think I want it smoother. Or they're looking and saying, like I had one girl bring in a photo and I said, well, what do you like about the photo? She goes, well, I like that curl right there. Yeah. I go, like that one by her face? Yeah. I said, well, what about the rest of the updo? I don't care. As long as I have curl by my face. I'm like, oh, great. Too easy. Sometimes you don't know what they like or they don't like, and sometimes they don't know. Yeah, yeah. So I would say, I have some notes. There was one thing I wanted to say. Yeah, so as you're speaking to her, and kind of like when I said, have them pull out their own fringe, and you'll know whether they have a routine. if you shift the conversation also to the wedding day or the prom, tell me about your dress. Tell me about your venue. Tell me about your date. Tell me about your dessert table. Tell me about your flowers. You'll find out whether she's a frantic bride and can't really think and talk, or whether she's dreamy and she goes, oh my gosh, my flowers, I had them grow in my yard for a year and my mother picked them. And it's like, all right, we got a dreamer here, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah.
always want to mirror. They give you so much information, and all you have to do is connect emotionally, and you mirror her. Because I've heard some other hairdressers say, oh, you should never let someone have a middle part. No one's face is even. Who cares? She
Yeah.
doesn't care. If she wears a side part all the time, let her have a side part. Like, if you want to do a photo shoot, you want to teach a class, leave that kind of technical stuff there. Right now, this is all about relationship and pleasing the client.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the last step is hair and makeup, and that's the most important step. And by the time they come to us, they are so like crazy. They try to hold it together. They really try. They think they're going to be the one bride that never loses it on her wedding day. And it gets to that place where they're like, they either pop or they start crying or they go throw up, or, but it always happens. So I really feel my job is to protect the wedding day, to protect the bride, to protect the timeline, and to protect the relationship. And to me, that's 85% of it. So
Yeah,
go learn a few hairstyles. If you can do all of this other stuff, learn a few hairstyles, you'll be fine.
yeah, 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 exactly. And it's about that, you know, I often talk about that know, like, and trust thing, that's what we're trying to build with our clients, obviously before they book us, but continuing through the booking. They need to trust us. And the more they trust us, the easier the hairstyle is actually going to be, because, you know, they're not going, oh, is she going to stuff this up? Oh, am I going to like it? You know, they trust us. So as we're going through that, as you say, and that's such great advice, like just holding her hair and how do you want this piece to look and how do you want that section to look? As we do that, she trusts us. That is helping to build that trust and build that rapport and that relationship even further. So yeah, I think that is fantastic advice. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when people get nervous, they shut down. And so the hairdresser who's afraid and she's reading her fidgetiness, or she might have gotten a text, and you know, you don't know what's going on in her mind. So then you make up stories in your mind about what's going on in her mind, and then you make it about you and you forget to make it about her. And you
Yes.
just need to open your mouth and, you know, take a break too. Sometimes it is hard and you get stuck or you get brain freeze. And I say, you know, excuse me a minute, I got to go into the back room and get something. And you just go back there and just deep breathe. You know, you don't want to let them know. And because like you said, if they like you, they'll trust you. And if they don't like you, if you established, well, your hair won't do that. Oh, photo, no, your hair, no, this will never happen. Like, you've established resistance. You don't
Yes.
want to establish resistance ever, ever, ever. Even if her hair won't do that, don't establish resistance right away. Do the sections. And when you go to bring her fringe back and it doesn't go all the way back because it's too cut away, you can say, you know, this detail in the back that you love, this wrapping, I can't get it to be as much as it is in the photo because you have all this fringe. Now it makes sense to her. If you start telling her, no, your hair won't do this photo from when you first start, you've created resistance and she'll hate everything you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all a head game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 So I think you told us was that just the first secret? Is there other secrets that you wanted to share with us? No, that's okay. I'm like, I'm taking
all right.
notes
So
here.
yeah, the second secret is a systematized consultation. So that empowers you to construct a solution from the photo. So basically that's what I just described.
Yep. The 5
And then the
sections.
brain freeze, eliminate brain freeze. And so knowing where to start. Brain freeze, sometimes the hairdresser doesn't know where to start the updo. But when you do the consultation, you do the system, you look at the parts. I always say if she's anxious and nervous, let her have section 1 done first so she's happy. Then turn her away from the mirror, give her her phone, and you just work. Check in now and again, hand her a mirror. And another trick that I do is I never let the client be awkward, ever. Don't say, here's a mirror. And they start going like this. And they're they feel weird. No,
Mm.
you stand them up, you position her, you find the perfect curl you want her to see. You hold the mirror. How do you like that? Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah,
You are in control. We have so much control, but we don't realize how much control we actually have.
yeah,
And
yeah,
all of those little tricks, like those are things that I learned from 40 years.
yeah, yeah.
And then the secret number 4 is reading the personality and the mood of her while you deliver an experience she will treasure forever.
Yes, yeah, and that's the key word, isn't it? It's the experience, and that's something that I talk about a lot. You know, people are not buying makeup or hairstyling from us. They're buying that experience, that emotional feeling, that reaction, that, and they want that. Oh my God, I love it. You know, and we want that too, of course. That's the
Yeah.
rewarding part for
Mm-hmm.
us. But that is what we should be aiming to create for her. That
Yeah.
instant in time, that that sharp intake of breath, and that, oh my God, I love it. Yeah, yeah,
And it's even when the hairdressers, a lot of them say, well, I'm never happy with my work. I don't know if I should post it. I'm like, I remember I used to do this on stage all the time. If she says she likes it, put the comb down. Put the
hallelujah,
bobby pins down.
sister.
She doesn't see what you see.
Yeah,
She's happy. Just make sure it's not going to fall out. Tweak her and check her, but stop fussing about it. If you want to do a photo shoot, you're working with an editorial stylist, you're working with a gown designer that has a vision for the headpiece, then they're in charge.
yeah,
The
yeah,
bride's in charge. Or you're in charge of, your own free, you're creating your portfolio. But the bride's in charge.
of
It's
course.
you want to please her, and you want to tweak it. I always talk about tweaking something special from that's not in the photo, but is something from her gown or something that you learned about her, where you did something special. That's going to make you memorable and an experience. But the mindset, like, be happy with your work, be happy that she's happy, and good enough is okay. Because you keep fussing, and the bride's like, is she done yet? Like, another bobby pin, another. Like, if you're anxiously like, one more, one more, one more, that's coming on her. And she's like, crap, is my hair going to fall out? Like, because
Mm,
you're creating that by not stopping and saying, oh, it's coming out so amazing in the back mirror. I can't wait for you to see it. Like, even if you're scared, say it.
yeah, yeah,
Say it. When you go buy something in a store, what do? I don't know. I don't think you can really like this coat. It might fit you, it might not look good, but if you don't like it, you just put it back in the rack and
mm.
sell it. You gotta sell the hairstyle and the makeup.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, that is such great advice. Gosh, my head is just kind of spinning right now. I'm like, oh, wow. So, Gretchen, you obviously you've had this great hairstyling and background. You've also had your background as a clarity coach, and you've kind of married the two together now with your Updo system, your Updo and Hairstyle Education group, which is your Facebook group, and your new membership program. So tell us a little bit about that, and how we can become involved in that.
Sure. I made it really simple. I learned this back in the day of being online. Is updosystem.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Updosystem.com. That's me. And there's like, you'll find the funnel or the website or whatever it is, updosystem.com. And then it kind of talks about my secrets. It has some videos like, well, if I'm a student, is this going to be too hard? Or I'm experienced, but I'm bored. Will this help me? And then there's a third person. I can't remember. And there's, but because it's live, anytime I do a new style, I put it in the membership.
Yeah.
But the
Awesome.
first 4 modules are all about that mindset, reading the client, asking diverting questions. You want to get her off of hair. You want to get her thinking about something else. So all of that. And then the total bridal look. That's what I really loved. One of my favorite chapters in my book was looking at the line. There's a picture in the course where the woman has like a lace up in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates this kind of V. And so
Yeah,
then
yeah,
in the hairstyle, she has a French twist.
Beautiful.
So it's like it matches the gown. And there's a prom style that I have in there. And I have some live wedding and live prom. Some people who know me and they let me film live on their real wedding day. So you
Awesome.
get to hear my system and how effortless it flows. I don't stand there with paper. I mean, you might in the beginning till you want to learn all the questions and the breakdown of the head and everything. And then certainly I have a section in the paperwork on how to upsell and how not to forget to say certain things. So they're all written down. But once you use the modules a few times, it'll just start to become practice because you'll see it work.
Yeah.
And so once you have that paradigm shift, it's not learning how, it's learning why. And when you learn why, you don't forget why. You might forget how, but you won't forget why. And so it's a great system. It's helped me.
Yeah.
I mean, and all my students, I mean, I've had students talk to me 15, 20 years ago that say, I still use everything I learned. You break it down so easily. It makes so much sense. You know, thank you. So.
And I think that's the key thing here. As makeup artists, you know, I remember when I was taught just to work down the face. That way you're not going to forget anything. So, you know, you do your brows and then your eyeshadow, your eyeliner, your under the eye area, your foundation, your cheeks, your lips, your mascara. It's just kind of your work each little section down the face. So your system is very similar because it is sectioning the hair. And I think, especially as makeup artists, sometimes we look at the hair as this whole and it is a little bit overwhelming. So I think what you're saying, break it down into those 5 sections and it's just got to be so much easier. So yeah.
It is. It's even how I learned how to cut. When I was doing platform work, I was with 4 other artists. So one person was a barber, one person did female, and I did the updos, and we all had systems, and we were all master stylists, like, and so I remember hairdressers would resist sectioning. Like, you want to be an artist, you just want to flip through the hair. It's like, fine, you want to do that, but you do that after the cut a perfect haircut, and then tweak it and shave it and do all that stuff. But you got to have a system because you work faster and you work smarter too.
Yeah, and I think more effectively as well when you have that system.
You don't miss a spot, you don't get lost.
Yeah, rather than fly by the seat of your pants. Great. So the membership, is it a monthly membership or how can people join that membership?
So right now I have it, the first 30 days is free. It's $9 a month. So it's like one big cup of coffee.
That's $9 US?
$9 US a month.
Oh, yeah.
It's affordable for everybody. I didn't want to do like a big $500 program, which everyone was telling me to do, and have a big launch and you'll make all this money. I'm like, listen, I don't. I want people to learn. I truly want people to learn. And you don't even have to be in forever. If you're resourceful, you could go through all the videos in a week and pop out. For $9 you're done. But if you want to hang out and if you want to really take them in and go back to them, you'll always know where they are, and learn and read and learn, because there's PDF modules, there's kinetic, there's questions. I ask you to think and answer questions so that what you're seeing in a video is in front of you on paper, and then you take it to a live client or on a mannequin head. And so for $9 a month, and then the Facebook group is free. There's over 3,000 people in it right now, and it's really a diverse group. I love it.
Yeah. I've been in your Facebook group for a while, and I don't get that many notifications, but I do come in there from time to time, and it's amazing to see, people are posting the images there of what they've done on their dolly heads and talking about how the system has really helped them. So yeah, I think that's really good. I'm going to get all the details from you again in just a moment of where people can find those things. Just going to jump over quickly to the Facebook group. So if those of you that are watching live on the Facebook Live, if you have any questions for Gretchen, can you pop them in the comments? I'll come and have a look at those questions and ask them to Gretchen. It does take a few minutes for the questions to catch up. So I have done interviews before and haven't seen the questions until we've shut down the live. So hopefully we'll get those questions up now. while I go and look at those questions, Gretchen, can you spell out for us exactly where people can find the system again and find the Facebook group?
Sure. The name of the page that I run is called Updo and Hairstyle Education, because I wanted to keep it just not about me. Updo and Hairstyle Education page, so that's Facebook, and then Updo and Hairstyle Education group, and then Updo System, and you just type in updosystem.com, and you'll get right to my information. My name, Gretchen Maurer. You can find me on @Gretchen Maurer on Instagram, and you probably can find me the same way in LinkedIn and Pinterest, and I think that's all of them. Anywhere.
Awesome, awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of those details up on the screen for the recording on YouTube, and also obviously in the comments. I haven't had any questions pop through. I can see there are a couple of people watching live, but no questions have popped through at this stage. So Gretchen, is there anything further that you would like to add? Any other advice you can offer?
I'm just thinking about the makeup artist, and I guess if you're thinking, so there was a young girl who finished hairdressing school. I was coaching her and her boyfriend, and she was saying that, you know, she had her cosmetology license, and she was, well, I need to go and get this special makeup course, and I need to do this and I need to do that. And I was also coaching a woman in her 70s who'd been painting all her life. Well, I love this artist and I want to learn his technique and I want to learn his technique. And I'm like, paint and sell your work. Do your makeup, do it. Just do makeup. You are qualified. You are absolutely qualified. Take courses, get extra training, follow your people. But you don't have to wait for like a bunch of courses and letters after your name. You honestly don't. We are all created equal. And when the nerves are gone, you're a creative genius. We're wired to be creative. And it's the only thing that blocks is fear. So take action and create. When you look at any artist, they don't come out of the gate knowing how to paint.
Exactly.
They don't. They fine tune their craft. Even Olympic athletes, anybody, they fine tune their craft. So have your hands in the hair and tell yourself, I'm going to get this. Because when your brain is positive, your hands are going to work in tandem with your spirit and you're going to get it. I can do this. This is not hard. If these people who aren't even hairdressers have all these YouTube channels, I can do this. I can do this. So it's if you need a little bit of prompting with communication, get out there. Like, go to your library and do a makeup class. Do makeovers for some church group or some women's group. There's all kinds of women's groups wherever you are, mothers, school. Like, just get people in your house and start learning how to talk and do makeup in front of them. And you will be nervous. You will be scared. You'll be shaking. You'll have pain somewhere. Your back will hurt. Your neck will hurt. Your gut will hurt. Wherever your zones are, you're gonna have anxiety, but it will go away. I remember when I first was making my husband do live Facebook. And he's pacing in the backyard and he's cursing and he's starting and he almost started to cry and he's mad. Now he does Facebook Live every single day and he just pops on and, you know, so do it. Just take action. That's my biggest advice. Take action.
Yeah. And that's it. I always like to say competence leads to confidence, and the way to get confidence is just to practice. So yeah, absolutely.
Everyone starts the same.
Exactly. Yeah. All righty. Well, look, I think that's everything we've covered off on. Gretchen, I'm so grateful and appreciative of you for giving us your time today. I think it's been really, really enlightening. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on and having a chat with us. I want to really encourage everybody to go and check out updosystem.com. And also to go and join the Updo and Hairstyle Education group on Facebook. Check out what Gretchen's doing, and remember those 5 simple, really sections of the hair next time you are putting together a hairstyle. So Gretchen, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Susan.
All right. Okay, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.